Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first annual OSP Old School Perspective Awards. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know what award music sounds like anymore. It's been a while since I've watched an actual show. Dun,
Yeah,
dun, dun. I
I
just
only
like
watched the roasting in between the awards, and, and that's it because it's been pretty good.
the camera panning out. Dun, 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 dun. It is award season, people. Once again, it's your boy Shaun Q, my partner, like always.
Jay Roman.
Together we are OSP and it's award season. It's 2021. I don't know how they're giving out awards for shit that happened during the COVID shutdown pandemic year, but they are.
Well, there's
They're
the
doing
screen awards and stuff like SAG and all that,
they're doing
Grammys,
SAG,
stuff.
they're doing the Grammys, they're doing the Golden Globes, they're doing all that shit. Like last year wasn't a ball of shit. They're giving away awards. Who survived the shittiest year ever? Tune in to Tina Fey and Amy Poehler and find out. So we're gonna do our own type of a little award thing. We have some awards we like to give out for shit that happened in 2020. You know, we sat down with the writers and the producers of the show, we decided to come up with some awards of our own that people deserve to know about and put out there for the people. But first, we are gonna get into what's popping. What is popping? About a month or two ago, I want to say like 2 months ago, Warner Brothers Studio announced that they were gonna put all their big movies out and they were going to release them in theaters and on HBO Max, which is a
Same
huge
day.
Yes, same day. You can watch on HBO Max. We got to see that awful shit train wreck Wonder Woman. The same time it was in theaters. But there's one that caught our eye when you look at that trailer that everybody's seeing of all the new movies coming to HBO Max, and that was Mortal Kombat. I know I fanboyed out when I saw the trailer. I know for a fact you fanboyed out because you posted right away. I'm like, I think this dude's at work.
I had just gotten on a break when I saw it, and I was like, "What is this?" And I immediately made up whatever post I could make, and then that preview. If you don't say what it is to people, they will just watch it and think that looks like a badass movie. Because I sat down with Veltria and I said, "We're gonna watch this preview." She's like, "But I'm not into Mortal Kombat." And I said, "You're not gonna be into Mortal. You're not into Mortal Kombat, but you'll be into this movie." And we put on the preview. She's like, "Yeah, I want. I don't care what that is. I want to see it." I'm not sure about the whole Goro thing. I was wondering how they're gonna do that. He looks like he's gonna be a big actual monster still. I was wondering if they're gonna go that way, but man,
Is there any other way to go with Goro? Goro's
no, there isn't, of course. But I thought maybe they weren't going to do that because it was everything else. Yeah, it's fantasy and all that, but I don't know if they're going to bring monsters in it. You know what I mean? But why not? Fuck
It
it.
is 2021. Everything is digital. If ever there was a time to create a four-armed monster, it's now.
Yeah, no, I'll agree with you on that. I was like, okay.
The fact that they had Liu Kang's fire turn into a dragon, I was like, finally, thank God. Okay, cool. We get some dragons and shit. The trailer looks dope as shit. Cannot wait to watch it. It looks like they have quite the storyline. It looks very entertaining. They have some great actors. I love they got my dude playing playing Scorpion, man. That dude is everywhere all the time. When it comes to if anybody's holding a sword in a movie and has to do with samurais, he is there.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think they picked a good before and after Scorpion.
He is a master swordsman. Literally, like he is really a trained master swordsman. So I love when he's in. Anytime that guy's in something, that we say that guy because I can never remember his damn name.
Yeah,
but
y'all know
every time I see him in a film, I'm smiling the whole way. Or a show, he's been in a couple of shows.
Westworld,
I'm like,
I
man,
love Westworld.
please play with your swords. Let me see how this works. Let me see you do your thing. But there's a couple of things where he doesn't have a sword that I've seen him in, where he's just acting, and he's a great actor, man. I always feel his part. There's another. I don't remember the show. It was a while ago. They never really finished it. I feel like it kind of fell off. Where he played an amazing part, and I thought he was the most crucial part in the whole show. Just based on his acting, he was the best one there, in my opinion, of course. But
yeah, I love
super dope.
The last season of Westworld, he was dope. He's been or the second to last season of Westworld. I just rewatched. I was telling you, I just rewatched Infinity War and Endgame, and I forgot that he fights Ronan in fucking Endgame. He's like, in that quick little scene, dope ass dude everywhere. So Mortal Kombat looks dope. Right now it is the 25th anniversary of my favorite hip hop album.
Yeah, I'm waiting to hear what this is.
If you go back in the crates, people, we've done this. We've done our top fives before, and I told you what my favorite hip hop album was of all time. And if you don't remember, that's on you. But I'm gonna tell you anyway. It is the 25th anniversary of the Fugees, The Score.
You're so serious.
25 years ago, do you fucking research? 25 years ago, The Score came out, and it's another one. It's that album I listened to front to back, cover to cover, skit to skit, all of them. I love that album. And I saw they were posting a bunch of Lauryn Hill stuff. And Wyclef stuff, and still to this day, Pras still gets no love. Pras, I don't think Pras ever got love, and it sucks because outside of what was it, Ghetto Superstar with Maya, nobody really gave Pras any credit for doing what he did, doing the stuff that he did, being part of one of the greatest hip hop groups of all time. It's all been Clef because Clef stayed busy, and then Lauryn Hill is a genius. So shout out to Pras, man. I hope you're somewhere and somebody's like, hey, Pras, 25th anniversary. He goes, for real? Huh. And then goes back to, I don't know, flipping burgers. I don't know what this nigga does with his life right now.
I don't know. Pras to me is like a lot of people in a big group. Know your role. He was never going to be a star. He's never going to be a solo star. Right. So know who you are in your group and just be that guy in the group because you are that guy. And he was so good that way. All the solo stuff I ever heard or, features were fine, but he never drew the crowd like you would have expected, like you did, like the others two did. Like the other two did, but he could have. He just was on different tips. I don't know how to really even call that. So I don't know. I don't know. 25th anniversary of that album, I get it. But what's up with Tupac, Don, Illuminati theory, all that? That's.
Dude, we were just talking about those. We will address those when they come, Jay Roman. We're talking about the score, sir.
You're right. One of the probably top 10. I want to say albums, period. It transcended hip hop. Oh, yeah. Just like Equipment I did when Outkast came out with theirs. The score transcended hip hop, and for those who don't know, Tekashi 6ix9ine is not all that. I had to throw his name in there because I can't seem to lose this guy from my feed.
You have to mention this nigga's name. I would like Tekashi 6ix9ine to be treated the way Captain Marvel is treated in the Marvel Universe. Don't invoke that nigga's name. Don't talk about that motherfucker. Oh my God. I was on Hulu and it was like, want to hear the Tekashi 6ix9ine story? I was like, no, not
at all.
I don't give a fuck about this dude. No. How is he not dead? No, I don't give a fuck about this dude. Anyway, speaking of award season, so we're looking at awards. I said on my feed a little while ago, I feel like One Night in Miami, Queen herself, Regina King, did a great job on her directorial debut, and they're already nominating her for awards, and I feel like she should win them. I don't give a fuck about the other movies. She's just really whatever she does, she dominates it. And so she is nominated off her directorial debut, which is awesome. There's a lot of women nominated for a lot of things this year, which I'm very happy with. I'm very proud of. It sucks that it comes post a year when, not to say the competition wasn't in full effect, but a lot of movies got pushed back. A lot of movies never got made. A lot of movies didn't get finished. So I'm not saying it wasn't an even playing field. I'm just saying I think I hope next year is the same. If everybody does the projects they want to do this year, then next year there's a lot of people of color nominated. There's a lot of women nominated. There's a lot of just something different. We get bored with every year when you see the same 4 white dudes and 1 minority nominated for the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I like that women are doing great and they're nominated in the categories this year. Were you about to speak on that? You like you're doing?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, because you can also not just talk about the award she's about to get, but when you might think of, I'm thinking of, when I think of the baddest woman in Hollywood the last year, I can only really think Regina King. Not only because of Watchmen. She was in the baddest show of the year. Watchmen, to me, hands down, is like, I can't think of anything I've seen better. And it's one of those things. There's a lot. Lovecraft Country is great, but Watchmen, like One Night in Miami, like Lovecraft Country, like we just watched Judas and the Black Messiah. Is a very timely film. This is the perfect time for that film to come out. So when we watched it, it brought up, all kinds of conversation. Sam Cooke, Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali, and Jim Brown.
Motherfucking Brown.
To think what they may have actually talked about, and then to know what they did afterward, regardless of what the actual conversations were in the room or throughout the day, is incredible because you know what they did after. Unfortunately, Malcolm X got assassinated soon after, and Sam Cooke died soon after that too, actually. It really, I kept asking, what if they did say this? What if they did, and it brought up stuff. Malcolm X, the way he talked to Sam Cooke, for those who don't know, it's a very serious conversation. It's a conversation many, many people have had when you have people of their stature. It's like, I'm doing for the people. What are you doing besides for yourself? And Sam Cooke, has an introspective, and he has that moment, and he shows you that he did have that moment that Malcolm X. So it's a lot to explain. I don't want to go there too far with that. But one big thing about Regina King getting nominated, she's the first Black woman, if I'm correct, to get nominated for best director as a woman. I think for SAG. If I read this correctly, she's one of only 12 women to get nominated for best director. One of 12. And 3 of them are this year. In the 70 something years of SAG, just like the Oscars and all that, that's insane to me. That's insane that only now are we seeing at least some type of more recognition for anybody who's not the average white male or the average white woman or whatever. Granted, one of only 12 women. Obviously, the white women have had their issues too.
Right.
Getting in there, and we've seen that. They've come up, and there's only a handful that I can even name off the top that I know are directors that have done something big, like the one who did Hurt Locker. Gosh, I always forget the name until I hear it again. But yeah, man, Regina King, I'm gonna give her the baddest woman in Hollywood award. How about that? I'm just gonna name that one.
Are we doing awards already?
I'm just gonna throw that one out there.
All right, yeah. So the first award of the night, all fucking impromptu.
No. Go ahead. No.
Let's do it. Baddest motherfucker in Hollywood. All right, we got that out the way. Before we get into more awards, goddamn Jay Roman, there's something that you mentioned to me.
I love Regina King, man.
I know, man.
Listen, I do, man.
I watched her on SNL and I loved it. She did her intro, and her first line, she was like,
"Oh,
for the white people who don't know me, you probably know me from Watchmen and from this monologue." And I was like,
"Yep.
If I ever meet Queen King, I will explain to her that as much as I've been watching her since she was a kid in 227, as much as I've seen all the things she's been in, when I hear her voice, I will forever hear Huey and Riley Freeman. I just can't not hear it. I can't unhear it.
Okay.
She's saying the most serious shit, and all I'm seeing is it coming out of Huey Freeman's mouth with the fro and the taxi driver jacket on. And if she says something funny, she's doing the SNL. I'm trying not to laugh because I'm thinking like, if she ain't a hoe, why I got to feed her? Like, I love this woman.
You're so ridiculous.
I love this woman more than she could understand. No. Anyway,
did you see her on Trevor Noah though? By the way, did you see her on Trevor Noah?
So I don't watch Trevor Noah as much as I should. I know, man.
But just the look, man. It was gorgeous. It was gorgeous.
I believe she stays beautiful. There was a dress she was wearing. They were doing like a '70s skit on SNL.
Did I see it? You see that, bro?
And I was like, listen, for I understand she has a small chesticles, but I was hoping the wind would blow at some point. Like just a little bit of nipple. I was hoping for a wardrobe.
But Tria, she knows I like the big hair, and I told her, I was like, hey, you got big hair like that? We've on something. And she's like, I know.
Some boxy shit right there. I was with it. Some coffee brown. Anyway, so we have one person to thank for putting us on to the theater, and that would be Veltria. Veltria has introduced us to a lot of things that involve the theater. We've been to a bunch of plays, some together, some not. I remember when I went to New York, I did a couple of plays. I saw a bunch of plays, got kind of into it. There's a play right now that is nominated for a record, 12 Tony Awards?
12.
And it was in 2019. Obviously, they didn't get to shoot it or do it last year. So I'm hoping this year, when everything kind of goes back to normal, they'll do like a good 2-3 year run. So you, Veltria, and I can go see it. And it's called Slave Play. And we don't know much about it. I read a little bit of a synopsis on it, and I know it has to do with race, sex, interracial relationships, and it all kind of takes place during slavery. Mm-hmm. And it's like role playing. So it's like, it sounds intense. And they're already crowning the guy who wrote it as like the new voice of Black people, which is what they always do. Anytime there's something that comes out and they're like, have you looked at it like this? And like, here comes the voice of Black people.
Yeah.
If that means anything. I remember at some point, fucking Colin Powell was the voice of Black people. And like, what the fuck is happening? Yeah.
So go ahead. Finish what you're saying.
No.
I got something on that.
So when it comes out, hopefully if it comes back to Broadway, I want the 3 of us to catch it. It sounds intriguing. I'm really interested in it. Hopefully, here's what I don't want. So I didn't get to see Hamilton. And if I did see Hamilton, I would have wanted to see Hamilton on Broadway in New York. As much as I appreciate when they carry shows over in there, Hamilton comes to LA or The Lion King comes to Las Vegas. I like to see the original cast of it. So I would love to get to see the original cast of this play, Slave Play, in New York, if possible. That would be dope. That's on the bucket list right now. What were you
Well, if you haven't seen it yet, I mean, try it on Disney Plus. I know it's not like being at a play, but when it comes to a play production on a screen, that's, I mean, I'd say probably the best I've ever seen, because it you have more angles, of course, than when you're just watching, but it doesn't feel like a forced thing. It's natural. If you haven't
you
seen
talking
it
about Hamilton?
yet.
Yeah, I watched it on Disney Plus, and I saw
Okay,
that
okay.
they shot it to look like the play. And I
Yeah.
love that they got the original actors and they made it look like the actual play, and they added stuff that you could only do with film, which I thought was dope.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So you did see. Okay. So big thing about this one, it's the name of the guy who wrote it is Jeremy O. Harris. And it's funny that you mentioned that thing. Excuse me. Got some allergy flare-ups this last couple of days. It's warm in California, unlike other states. But so I know in February, right? Jeremy O. Harris wrote this play. Yeah, nominated for 12 Tony Awards. Unheard of, right? Again, very timely. These things, when they happen like this, very timely. It's very much like the Oscars a couple years ago. Very timely award for Parasite.
Right.
Big thing about this one is how the description of the play. Let me read that to you. It follows 3 interracial couples undergoing antebellum sexual performance therapy because the black partners no longer feel sexual attraction to their white partners. So during slave time. So it brings all these issues in the play. It's apparently going to be really good. Trevor Noah, the interview I saw with him and Trevor Noah, Trevor Noah described it as it's going one way and then it flips on you. I'm like, okay, I can dig with that. So big ups to him. I hope we do get to see it. That'd be a super dope trip to be able to make one day. If it does come down this way and comes off Broadway, I'll go. We'll go that way too. But yeah, big ups to him, man. 12 Tony Awards nominations. I don't know if he has anything else on Broadway, but it's super dope. And big point he made was he made them make tickets available to people who could not usually afford tickets to Broadway shows. He said, "You're not going to price my tickets at $400 or $500 for the elite to see. I want kids to see this. I want the hood to see this. I want people who don't get to go out and see this to see this." And it was a really huge deal. And the fact that he was able to use that voice, that power to make that happen, super dope. When you bring up the voice of a people, Regina King touched on that a little bit because Trevor Noah said to her, he's like, how does it feel to be like, if everything goes right, you're like the biggest person of the people, and everything goes wrong, it's all on your shoulders, that you're the voice of the people. And she, it's a delicate balance, and maybe Shaun, maybe you'll be the voice of the people one day, the old school people.
I will be the voice of the foul mouth, old school, hard hitting, in your
Bud Light guzzling.
Right, I don't drink beer, but yeah, yeah. You know what's funny is I would like to. I say this all the time when we talk about where we get, because I was talking to somebody about the podcast the other day, and they were like, "So, what perspective do you bring as far as the old school perspective?" I was like, "You know what's funny is I currently am at a spot right now where I get to hear so many older people's perspective on what's happening with the world, and I get to hear them in the unfiltered bar environment.
Yeah,
it's not like we're in the workplace where there's certain things you can and can't say. I get to hear people's unfiltered views of the world and the way it is. And once that liquor kicks in, it is even more unfiltered. And it is crazy. Like, I get this perspective that I'm so, the timing on us doing this is so perfect, because you get to see these people who you see in everyday life and you're like, oh, they seem like a nice guy. They get some liquor and you're like, oh, that dude says nigga more than I do.
Oh man, that's why I don't say. That's why I don't say. I don't drink. I don't know what I would say.
Yeah, well, I know what I say when I drink. The truth. So let's get into some awards, man. Let's get into some awards. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Got some fun ones.
Okay. In no particular order. Nah, fuck it. Let's do it in order. So real quick, 2020, the award for the best streaming show of 2020 that we watched.
Yeah, not everywhere, because we haven't watched everything. But
we haven't watched everything, but that we have seen. Now, I don't know if it has to be something we've both seen, but how about we do this? I'll tell you what I think it should be. I'll tell you my nominee. You tell me your nominee. Yeah?
Okay.
My nominee. Fuck, I can do this. My nominee for best streaming show that I watched in 2020. You know what? Yeah, I was going to go with Harley Quinn on the DC universe, because that fucking show, bro. Like, I like
the show Harley Quinn?
Oh, there's a
Like,
cartoon.
The cartoon?
The cartoon
Okay.
Harley
Okay.
Quinn.
Okay.
I love, everybody who knows me knows I love Batman. I love all things Batman. I like everything related to it. I was not a fan of the Birds of Prey movie, and
Okay.
I didn't really like it. And when I saw the Harley Quinn cartoon, the first episode alone was better than the entire Birds of Prey movie. And I was like, Kaylee Cuoco, I don't give a shit about her flight attendant show. She should get awards for this fucking show because it was that good. But that's not my choice. My choice, if I have to, the one show that I was looking forward to every week, and it's not. I can go one way. Like everybody's looking forward to. Oh, you might say this one when everybody's like, the Mandalorian's coming out. I can't wait. I was so excited about Lovecraft Country because I don't know shit about Mr. Lovecraft. I don't know shit about his books. I was a fan with the non-bias. Just the show seems like a dope show with a dope concept. It had everything I liked in the show. It had racism, it had aliens, it had magic, it had titties. Like you named it. I was in it. Like I was loving it. So that's all I need for a show to have. I need magic, I need racism, I need aliens, I need titties. You give me that, I'm sold. I'm in. I'm all in. Lovecraft Country was my favorite streamed show that I looked forward to every week when it was out.
Okay.
That's my nominee.
Okay. Well, I have mine. I pretty much, I guess, already said it because the baddest woman in Hollywood starred in it. And I'm gonna touch on Last Dance though, with the Bulls that I freaking hated so much because it reminded me and it showed the world why those Bulls were the most dominant team I've ever seen play. Besides the old Celtics and the 80s Lakers really too. The old Celtics, that's a different era. That's Bill Russell, where he was the only black guy on court. You know what I mean?
Same thing with the Showtime Lakers is what you mean, right?
Yeah, so it's a little different, but it reminded people that not only is Jordan the biggest brand in the world when it comes to sports paraphernalia, and considered up until recently the greatest player of any team sport of all time, which I still believe it probably is him, along with Bill Russell, because you can't top Bill Russell's 11 rings. I understand it's a different era, but two of those he got as a player coach. He was a player and a coach at the same time. So, and he was in a racist area where they didn't allow black people except for him play, and maybe a few others. But it reminded me, for one, how much I hated Jordan, but also why I respected him so much as a player, because he killed everybody. He didn't even let you get close to him. He didn't even let you get to game 7 on him. He didn't give you even the opportunity to have one over on him. And then it came out and showed how much of a beast and crazy ass leader he is. And my style leader, granted, I don't know if I can handle someone talking that much shit to me. I can handle pretty good amounts, and that motivates me to a point too. But I love that about him. And I love and I give Last Dance to mention because of the best meme I think of the year, maybe of the year, came out where he's like, I took that personally. You know,
that is the best meme to come out of anything in 2020. Michael Jordan in there, and I took that personally. That has been recreated so many times. The show wins for that just alone.
So Last Dance is a strong thing for me because it was Jordan. You know what I mean? And gosh, I think I kind of like him more now than I did then. But HBO Watchmen, man, it took us to another universe, right? Where racism wasn't only just the thing going on. It was racism still, of course, and it was modern, but it also taught me something. I did not know about the bombings and the killing of an entire town of black people just because they were an affluent town of black people. I had no idea about that. And as soon as I saw it, and they're talking about it, I was like, that felt so intense and real. I had to kind of just look it up. And when I learned that it was real, it put me, not a rabbit hole, but it put me on the path of really learning what I need to know, because it's happened to multiple towns within our states, over the decades and over the centuries, or 2 centuries, whatever year, century and a half plus of black people being free. And so it brought me into a superhero universe. It had what you wanted, racism. I don't remember if it had titties. It had dick though. There is that, because you can't have Dr. Manhattan without his junk showing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why I didn't get the winner for me. That's why I was a nominee, but not a winner.
So, they had Regina King in a badass costume with a mask and fighting and all that, So it had all those elements that that I like. It had an intensity. It had an adult feel to it. Granted, Watchmen always does if you know anything about the comics, or of course the movie. And it was just amazing to see it pan out over the screen, and the Rorschach influence and Ozymandias and all that. It was incredible for a superhero show to come out like that, hard hitting in your face. I'm not sure how Alan Moore felt about it since he's the original writer of Watchmen. I actually should probably read his take because I know he doesn't like the other stuff that they put out, comic wise and movie wise. But it'd be dope if he gave an approval. But it's again, it was timely. It's very timely. It's very fitting for right now. And man, it pulled on my heartstrings, man, because just how serious it was about what goes on in this country, and that's the very, very first scene you see, and it's just nuts. Anyway, so that's my pick because it gives me that feeling inside. You know, Last Dance brought back that nostalgia and that hatred, and then more respect for Jordan. But then also, I super love Scottie Pippen. But HBO's Watchmen really got me here, got me right here.
So this is what I'll say. I love Lovecraft Country. Watchmen, I loved it and everything. A little too much dick for me. So as a fan of Jordan and being from Chicago and seeing those games, I'm gonna go with the winner of the best show that we streamed in 2020 was The Last Stand. The only thing.
Last Dance, right?
Sorry, Last Dance. The only thing, The Last Dance. The only thing worse than seeing that much dick is big blue dick. I was like, God damn, it's so much.
Was it that much?
It's excessive. It was a bit excessive. Let's do so. This one I think we can both agree on. This is an easy award. Biggest athlete flex 2020.
No oldest.
Not even a fucking question. Thomas Brady. Thomas J. Brady. I don't know this motherfucker. Thomas Super Bowl Brady. This dude was in the middle of a conversation that was raging of is he or is he not the greatest of all time? And was it him or was it Belichick? Or can you have one without the other? Can you have Mike without Phil Jackson? Can you have Kobe without Phil Jackson? Like, who did it? Who's the reason? So this dude changed teams. He changed climates. He changed systems and won the Super Bowl. Changed everything and won the Super Bowl. So now, any environment you were in, and they talk about greatest quarterback of all time, I don't give a shit what age or what era they're talking about. If Tom Brady's not mentioned, that person's full of shit and should not be listened to. No question.
That conversation's over.
Conversation's over. Biggest flex was, okay, I'll show you motherfuckers. And that's what he did. He showed us motherfuckers. That one's easy. To Pure Dominance Award. Now, we wanted to give this award for just sheer dominance of 2020. Now, we have the badass, which goes to Regina King. She did her fucking thing. The other side of that, when we go pure dominance is dominated, and it came to a great ending, if you will, it goes to the Prophet Dave Chappelle. The Prophet. I will only refer to him now as the Prophet Dave Chappelle. The Prophet Dave Chappelle not only made a huge comeback, did the 3 specials with Netflix, made a bunch of money off of it. He found a way to still do what a lot of comedians couldn't do during COVID. A lot of comedians couldn't find a way to perform. They're like, there's no way to get into these comedy clubs. We can't do our material. Cat Williams tried to do something with no audience and it was weird. Kevin Hart had to create a fucking comedy club in his basement.
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle found a way to do it out in a barn in the middle of Ohio and was fucking great at it. Killed it. Then Chappelle's show comes back. Everybody's losing their shit. He explained what he was going through in a way that Prince wasn't able to. Prince, I remember going on Arsenio and saying, like, the reason why you can't call me Prince is because of this. Warner Brothers doesn't want to pay me. I have to change my name. I'm now the artist because that's how they wrote me in on my contract. They referred to me as the artist. He had to go through that whole process to fight for his rights to the songs that he had written from a studio. Dave Chappelle has been through the process of fighting for the rights to his name for a show that he did for his studio. And it took him less than a year. To put it to the people and let the people decide if he should be on the rights to his show. And in less than a year, they were like, fuck yeah. The people spoke. He got his rights. He got his name. He got his show back. He now gets paid. It is fucking incredible. That's how you dominate your career. That's another Dave Chappelle. When people are talking about the greatest comedians of all time, whether it's longevity, material, shock, awe factor, If Dave Chappelle's not in your top 5, you're full of shit. Dave Chappelle is a prophet. He's been doing it since he was like 15, and the dude won. Him getting his rights to his name, that's a W. That's a win. Because not a lot of people in any industry can say they have done that. Pure dominance award, I say Dave Chappelle.
So to bring up Chappelle again, he also did that SNL that killed it. That everyone was like, "What did you just say?" You know what I mean? Twice, in a very short span that you don't usually see like that. But also, people don't realize this saga of Dave Chappelle, especially, and then which is in just the Chappelle show part. This saga of that's finally at a close for at least him and the ownership rights is what 16 years old now, 17 years old now, 18 years old now that Chappelle show was on. And then his career started 10, 12, 15 years before that, right? So people don't see that. They don't understand that this was a 30-year process for this man to get to this. And social media definitely helped a lot because I remember Chappelle show came back on Netflix. Like, oh shit, we can watch it again. It's always been on Comedy Central, whatever. And then he even said it. Yeah, my show's back on Netflix. Watch it. The very next week or two, he was like, don't watch my show on Netflix. I'm asking to take it off because I'm not getting my money. And then it came off. And it's like, wow, he was able to make his voice heard through us because we all brought it up as well. And it was a really big deal to us because he's one of our people. He has the Black Party from a long time ago that had Fred Hampton Jr. I don't even say him for a while, for something else for later. But Fred Hampton Jr., Kweli, Mos Def, Black Star Common, Rude, Eric Badu, Joe Scott, all these people. You know what I mean? And the fact that he had all these cats together, this guy has been an influence in our lives now for 30 plus years. Granted, I'm not a baker. I don't smoke. So half baked to me is like, okay. But for people who get high, they love that shit. You know what I mean? And I understand the appeal, but it's like, okay. But I love most of his stuff after that he's done, pretty much everything after that he's done. And Chappelle show, we've talked about it so many times, was a heavy influence to us. It really was because it was crazy to see like, wow, he's talking about this stuff in a place where people don't really talk about it. And then the fact that he's like, there's always that. I'll never forget that I just watched the episode where the black guy was saying white power. And then I go to McDonald's and the white guy right in front of me and he was a huge white guy, talking 6'5", ripped up. One forearm said white, the other forearm said power. And these ripped up forearms that he had. So I was like, I know I'm not going to say shit to him, but it's just, so it's like, he has his ear to the streets. And we mentioned that. And yeah, I love that you call him prophet. So I'm not sure if I'm going to follow that, but I love that you call him prophet. So yeah,
that's some real shit.
I'll give you that award. I didn't know who else to say, but that's a good one.
I don't smoke either. I thought Half Baked was funny, but Nutty Professor, Blue Streak, Undercover Brother, Con Air. We've been laughing at Dave Chappelle for a long fucking time, bro. Like, for people who don't remember, go back.
Those are 90s movies. Movies. Yep.
For a long time, the Prophet has been around. So, Pure Dominance Award goes to him. Before we go to commercial, we're going to do I call it the He Just Gets It Award.
There you go.
As we refer to Dave Chappelle as the Prophet, there's a man who has done something to where everybody who is a fan of this franchise is like, you know what? He just fucking gets it. And that is, and because I've been on my Marvel kick lately, I'm going to refer to him as Happy Hogan, but I've been a Jon Favreau fan for a long time. Since Made. I remember Swingers. I thought Swingers was good. I thought Made was fucking hilarious. And I love what he did when he did the first Iron Man. They put it in his hands. And somehow he went over from the Marvel, because of Disney, to Marvel franchise to Star Wars. And then he made The Mandalorian. And he took on a franchise that people have been asking about, the Boba Fett story, for years. And nobody wanted to take it on. Nobody felt like they could do it properly. Not only did he do it and get the right team of directors around him to do it, but he did it right. He did it the right way. He did it properly. When everybody was like, these last 3 Star Wars movies were trash. The Skywalker series is fucking trash. I was just wasting fucking 7 hours of my life, bro. They were like, you can't appeal to the old Star Wars fans and bring in new Star Wars fans. And Jon Favreau was like, hold my beer. He fucking did it. He just gets it.
Yeah.
So the award for he just gets it, bro. It's fucking Jon Favreau. I don't think there's a competition for that. Let me think about not even close. Nobody else.
I would agree with you right there. You put me on the Jon Favreau way back with Made. And I remember him and Vince Vaughn, right? Vince Vaughn.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen it in a while because I remember Vince Vaughn. I knew Vince Vaughn, but you're like, right. You don't know Made? And I was like, yeah, we watched Made. And I was like, okay, I get it. it really sucks that we have not seen those two on screen together in a long time. There's now more of him and Robert Downey Jr., unfortunately, but I would love to see them pair back up like a made at 60 type shit because they're old now, but
Wingers too, something like that.
So Jon Favreau kicked off the franchise of the century with Iron Man. Kicked it off like that. Kicked in the door. Because before that, all we had was Hulk, and that shit sucked. Granted, it was entertaining. It was a comic movie, but when Iron Man came out, it was like, this is what this can be. Okay. And they just continued from there. What you brought about The Mandalorian, what I think about when it comes to The Mandalorian is not only is it great, but it gives you pleasant surprises. Okay? Baby Yoda, Grogu, little child, whatever the hell they want to call him these days. Granted, Grogu is the name. Was a very happy and welcoming surprise. Everyone was like, oh shit. And I remember as soon as that toy dropped, it was already the number one selling thing on Amazon of all time. Toy on Amazon of all time. So the fact that he did that, and then again, he's like, hold my beer. I'm gonna bring up a little bit. You know what they've asked him to do recently, right?
Yeah, we talked about it.
We talked about it a little bit, and I don't know if we brought it up in the podcast, but they're gonna redo the last 3 Star Wars movies in seasons and go a different direction that kind of follow the old movies.
Right.
I'm not sure how I feel about that. They're asking him to like really spearhead that, but there's a lot of moving parts to that. A lot that no details are really in yet. So I'm gonna leave that one alone for now. But it's kind of nuts.
So the lady who's in charge of the Star Wars franchise from when they got it from George Lucas, she's stepping down, and everybody involved wants Jon Favreau to take her seat, and nobody has a problem with it. I don't know if they asked him or if he even wants to do it.
Yeah.
But nobody would be mad if he did. Because he doesn't just take it on by himself. He puts the right people in the right places. Yeah. When you look at that gallery thing they have on Disney Plus, we talked about the directors that were chosen to help him with The Mandalorian. He handpicked these people for a reason, and it worked. So I feel like he can get the right people around him. He's been in the business long enough to know talent when he sees it, and he doesn't do it by himself. So Jon Favreau, he just gets it, bro.
Yeah, and you know what? Don't forget that he doesn't just work for Marvel and Disney. He also does his own stuff. The Chef. Granted, it is a few years old now at this point, but it's a great movie. It's a great movie. I felt it. I was sad. I was happy. I was upset. And then I was hungry.
Yeah. Yeah. I won't be surprised if next season of Mandalorian has a Vince Vaughn cameo in it, is what I'm saying.
Oh.
I feel like it. Yeah. I feel like that might happen. So we're going to take a break real quick. Before we do, we want to let you know that tonight's award ceremony is being brought to you by Take You There, the new single by Jumpin Joe the Rapper featuring Shaun Q. Also, by Bang Energy Drink. Bangarang. We better get a check for that.
We
better get fucking paid for that. We're gonna take a break. Keep your eyes open, keep your ears open. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the OSP Old School Perspective Awards. First annual, not sure if we're doing this shit again next year, awards.
Hey, it's been fun so far.
It has. We're giving out awards, just random awards that we feel like should be heard out in the streets. And we're going to start this show off. This is a part of the show, like when you come back from commercial and they bring the big star out, like presenting the such and such award, Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, and I don't know, Martin Scorsese. Just like 3 big ass stars fucking come out for this award. So in your minds, imagine that's what the fuck is happening. So, this award.
I mean, shout out to coronavirus for being the catalyst for this category.
Yeah, these are all the 2020 awards that have kind of spilled over in 2021. The 2020 awards. So this award, I don't know if it should be called the worst Karen award or the best Karen award.
I actually had that same thought. Like I didn't know how to put it. I just put it as worst.
We're gonna go best.
Like the worst scenario, best.
So the best, because
there's nothing good about this.
Right. Last year, the name Karen got turned into basically
a verb. A verb.
It was a verb. Yeah, it was basically it's a noun almost. It describes a person, place, a thing. Usually a white lady. And so we have our 3 nominees for best Karen of 2020.
You know.
You go tell me, you go 2 and I'll tell you my 1.
So I'm sad that we only have 3 to go with because I'm sure there's a lot more, but these are the 3 when I think off the top that come to mind because they were so outrageous, but there's so many out there. And when I say verb, because we got Karen. Remember when I told you I just got Karen with my little girl? Yeah, we had that. So, shout out to the Karens who are really Karen named and unfortunately have to live this life now. Hi.
You are like, what's up? You were like the people named Richard after Richard Nixon left office, after Tricky Dick left. They're
Tricky
like,
Dicky.
yeah, they're like, please don't call me Dick. Nah, man, Richard, nah, too long. I'm gonna call you Dick. Sorry, Karen.
So, all right. So I'm gonna start off with the Starbucks anti-masker Karen. Okay, the fact that this lady told this Starbucks barista who was making her drink that he should be ashamed of himself for wearing a mask during a pandemic is definitely a nominee for worst best Karen award.
Best Karen.
So to go even further with that, he got a GoFundMe started for him, not by himself. He didn't start it himself. That he made some money. People donated to this kid for the trauma. You know what I mean? You got to go to therapy for shit like that sometimes. So this Karen, he actually came back out and sued him for that money. So she definitely, I think, is right up there with the worst Karen award.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, there's that one.
Best Karen.
Best Karen. Best Karen.
Best Karen.
Next best Karen award, I gotta say, is one of our Congress people, Marjorie Taylor Greene, otherwise known as MTG, otherwise known as Crazy White QAnon Assassin. Okay, so, so this lady has said the craziest, wildest shit, berated people who have had family members die in school shootings and bar shootings and stuff like that, confronting them about how unreal it actually was. It was fake, it was staged. Said 9/11 didn't happen. Probably at some point believed the Holocaust didn't happen. And even with all that, the craziest thing I think this lady said, even with all that other stuff, I'm sorry, and liked and retweeted and all that stuff, posts about killing other Congress members that she's now, I guess you say, schoolmates with, I'm gonna call it, right? Still, the craziest thing this lady has ever said is that the California wildfires that we are experiencing on a yearly basis now, that are tremendous, were started by Jewish-owned space lasers. Jewish-owned space lasers started our fires to bring attention to us to try and get our green stuff passed or some crap like that. Yo, nuts. So she has now been, as an update to that one, she has now been removed from her committee assignments, but none of her fellow Republicans wanted to really condemn her. Barely any did anything about condemning her. I think McConnell said something with his turkey neck, and maybe one other person, but they actually voted against removing her from her assignments in Congress because they accepted that as okay for some reason.
I think it's because they're afraid. There's a difference between a Karen and just batshit crazy. Yeah. Maybe they have fear that this crazy lady is gonna do some crazy lady shit to them.
So and it's so bad.
Votes, he's like right there. They're like, "What do you think? You think she should be out? No. I like her. I think she's great."
It's so bad. Cori Bush, the beautiful black senator from Missouri, or congresswoman from Missouri, if I'm correct, asked for her office to be moved because she was next to Marjorie Taylor Greene. She asked for her to be moved because she doesn't know what this crazy lady's going to do.
She could smell the crazy from her office.
Yo.
So,
oh my gosh.
I asked the people. I put it to the people and I said, when you think of the word Karen and how it became popular in 2020, what story comes to mind? They all went in the same direction. No joke. Really? Everybody said the exact same person. I thought they would say the lady in the park who was, or not the lady in the park, the lady who complained there was black people having a barbecue with the sunglasses and she was the meme for a minute. I thought they would say her. I was like, okay, no. They all agreed. Amy Cooper was the one they think of when they think Karen. Amy Cooper is the lady in
That's the one?
Amy Cooper is the lady in the park who had her dog running around the area in Central Park. And this older black gentleman was like, hey, put a leash on your dog. And she whipped her phone out and called the police and said he was threatening her and she feared for her life. And she was in front of him on camera using the police as a weapon. Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of America did not understand that that was possible. When you say things like, oh, just call the police, it's not the same for both of us. And a lot of America, I love that because I love that it was video and it had like 200 million views and all that shit, because they got to see that there are people who not only take advantage of the system, but she was doing it. You could see the change in her voice. If you watch the video, she's yelling at him, I'm going to call the police and tell them that an African-American man is threatening me. He goes, call him. She gets on the phone and then she starts bursting into fake tears. He's threatening me and my dog. And people don't understand that shit happens all the time.
Yeah.
Since then, she's lost her job. She had to give the fucking dog back. She's had all kinds of. She had to give the dog back, bro.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Take the dog back to the rescue where she got it from. So now she's at home by herself, dogless, jobless, thinking probably should have tried to weaponize the police against a black person. People are doing it all the time, and I love that America got to see that up close and personal, firsthand. Like, oh shit, they're on to us. Fuck, we got to take that weapon out of our arsenal. To the point where it's even changed laws where you can't call and report somebody for being a certain race. You have to a crime. So I don't. Not only is that the most talked about Karen, I feel like that's the most important Karen because that Karen got a law changed from being a fucking Karen.
Okay, you know.
Go ahead.
No, finish that.
The best part about that is the next day she did the ultimate Karen move. She pulled the ultimate Karen move, and she used the words you're supposed to use after you've been busted on camera. She's like, my behavior was unacceptable, and I don't want people to think that that's who I am. No, bitch, that's who you are. We saw you. We saw you in your truest form.
We saw you.
That's who you are. You can fake this and give that fake ass apology. That is you in your truest form. That is what I think the epitome of a Karen is. It's not somebody having a Karen moment. It's that they are showing their ass and it's being filmed, and now they have to try to step back and be like, well, that's not me. That was just me on one racist occasion. No, bitch, you racist. Like, we saw it. I feel like that should be the winner. I feel like the people have already decided. Change the law, J. Roman. She changed the law.
You're right. Okay, I'm gonna give you that. So little update on that one. For one, when that came out, I remember my sister being like, "Yo, who is this guy?" Because she was very interested because he's a really good looking guy. He's a professional. He's written comics for I think Marvel and stuff like that. So if I'm correct, I remember reading that. Like, oh, okay. His name is actually Christian Cooper. No relation. Which is kind of interesting that a Cooper called another Cooper. They called a copper on another Cooper. I just thought of that right now. After I said, I was like, I can throw this back there and do that. Anyway,
out of that one.
So the biggest update to that, and this happened 2 weeks ago, almost 2 weeks ago, is those charges have now been dismissed. So because she did her therapy sessions, she did her apology tour to the court system, and she's white.
There you go.
So those charges have been dismissed in a matter of 8 months since that happened, 9 months since that happened. So good for her. Hopefully she has learned because she got it. She gets that Best Karen Award for sure. She lost her job. She paid for it. Now the whole world knows who she is, and we're reminding them because I don't want people to forget this shit. I'm doing, I do like we do this in every few podcasts where we remind people. I want you to remember. It's kind of like when you get hurt or you get angry, sometimes you sit in it and then you forget about it. But sometimes you got to go back to it. You know what I mean? And sometimes I want to make sure that we're on top of this because we need to stay on top of it because just because Mr. Biden is in office, Mr. President Biden is in office, things ain't all hunky-dory. There's still people out there trying to do crazy shit and trying to call cops on people because they're black, because they're brown, because they're Asian. Stop the Asian hate. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I like readdressing it and coming back to it because we talked about this before. We talked about people who don't believe in rehabilitation, people who don't believe somebody can be rehabilitated, people who are like Michael Vick should be buried and dead and under a jail. So you don't believe that man has been rehabilitated. So how do you feel about Amy Cooper?
Yeah,
it should go both ways. If you believe in rehabilitation or you don't, you need to be reminded of this. You got to see both sides of the coin at all times.
And that brings up a good point because we get on people on this one, and I don't ever like. I can just say mind getting on people on this show because why not? You put your ass out there. I assume someone's gonna get on us one day. But sometimes we gotta remember redemption is available. It is available. You know what I mean? Because I gotta say we may have been a little harsh on the Gorilla Glue girl a couple weeks ago. She kind of redeemed herself a little bit. Still dumb as hell. But she donated that money. So the way she got the stuff up was apparently it was an African doctor who understood how to get something like that out of her hair, did the procedure, and then the money she got because she got that procedure for free, she donated to people in need. I was like, you know what? I'll give you that. You did something really stupid. You learned from it. Just don't be stupid again because that was really dumb. But, it's hard to get redemption. It's hard to get redemption. So every now and then you got to get it. So every now and then You know, I'm not going to apologize to her because I still think she's really dumb, but I'm happy she was able to do something with it after. So I'm going to give her, oh, you know what? I'm going to throw that award in there. Redemption award. You get it. That girl gets it.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
I know you ain't feeling that one, but
I'm not. I feel like why is she donating money she shouldn't have gotten in the first place? Doesn't matter. Okay.
Well, at least she donated it though. You know what I mean? At least she's not suing for the
that
money.
Money should have been I don't know who's dumber, her doing it or the people donating money to have her fix her stupidity. When that money that she donated, they could have just donated that money themselves.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good
donating
point.
the money to a cause, you give it to a stupid person who then gives it to a cause. You should have just gave it to a cause.
Well, you know what? They felt her pain. That's what it was. They felt her pain.
Nobody felt her pain.
They felt her pain, and
nobody felt her pain because nobody else is that stupid.
Hey, if you glued your hand to your dick, I would get a GoFundMe. All right.
First of all,
I'm like, I wouldn't want you to get his hand up.
I wouldn't want you to get a GoFundMe because I'm smart enough not to tell people that I glued my hand in my dick. Anywho, you had an award you want to give out for you had. I'll let you give your award.
Okay. Actually, let's skip to the next one after that. Let's skip to the next one.
Okay.
Because I want that one to go right into the next thing.
Okay. So we want to give an award out since we've been doing this. It's been a year and a half. We've been doing this. We've networked, met a lot of people, a lot of dope people. We've met people at the Takeover radio show. We've met people at Pretty Young Tenders. We met all kinds of people who are networking. I was at the radio show last week and it was like Black excellence. It was beautiful. I met people who were doing a pop-up shop. I met this young actor who's coming up in the game. I met influencers. It was dope. Us all just networking and just vibing together. So
I got a question for that though.
I have an answer.
Did y'all all get your shot before you walked in? You get your vaccination?
Yeah.
What's wrong with y'all, man?
It was tequila.
If any of y'all get sick, Accelerated Radio and all you on there, I'm coming after you because don't be getting each other sick because I miss you guys and I want to get on the show.
No. We was protocol everything. Protocol.
Y'all suspect.
Protocol. So what we like to do is we have to, and I was saying this to the young ones who were there, you got to give back. You got to shout out. You got to network. You got to give props. And so you came up with this great one, which was best accounts that you might not have heard of. Mm-hmm. And most of our stuff, even though we are on Facebook and we are on YouTube, we are on Twitter, most of our stuff is done through Instagram. And we just wanted to throw out 3 quick Instagram handles that we feel like you should check out. If you haven't heard of them, you should check them out. Do you want to say who they are?
Yeah, let's do that. One of them, you know what? I'm gonna bring up Push Black first because Push Black is incredible, man. Like I have little tidbits of history that they put about Black people in history. It's 5-6 slides, maybe all the way to the full 10, and they give you like a person's background, what they did in history and in Black history especially. I've learned about the first Black sculptor to ever be recognized as in the American arts that became a world-renowned sculptor, and apparently I've seen some of her stuff. Didn't realize who I was looking at. When I saw the pictures of her stuff, I was like, wow, I know who that. I've seen that before. I've seen that live in my face at the Met in New York, or something like that. Like that's incredible, and stuff like that. So it's so great what they do. They do it for like assassinations. They do it for education things. They do it for art. People of all kinds of backgrounds in the Black community. They put this information out for you to learn, and it's Push Black. It's independent. They take donations, so you can keep them afloat, keep them going. It's pretty dope. Really, really dope. Push Black, just called Push Black. Really dope Instagram. And then you can click on their stuff and follow more for information. And the next one is I gotta say, man, it's really close to my heart because I've talked about this so many times. I feel like, and for those who can't see it, I have my Puerto Rico shirt on right now. You know what I mean? And the Afro-Latino diaspora, I think that's how you say diaspora, whatever. That account, it highlights Black Latinos who have been marginalized, because that's the big thing about every other community in this country, especially, and a lot of other countries, because they want to keep their people in the spotlight. They marginalize other nationalities, other races, other inventions and creations of people who aren't white, basically. So Afro-Latino diaspora highlights Black Latinos who have made it big or aren't as known as, say, Celia Cruz, or stuff like that. And it makes it a point to put these people out there and say, look at all the people that, because they are Black, they're not getting the attention as, say, like Enrique Iglesias. Enrique Iglesias is a very light Latino, so he may be more popular than, say, J-Lo. Granted, no one's more popular than J-Lo right now besides like maybe Beyonce, because he's lighter type thing. Right. You know what I mean? And it makes the point of these people are part Black. but they refuse to accept it. And man, they had a really big thing the other day where they put up, there's a thing called like Latinx and then Latinidad and all this stuff I have no clue about because I'm not involved in the Latin community because it's not around me for one, and I don't speak Spanish, so it's hard for me to kind of relate and make a conversation with them, anybody really. So I looked to this site now, and it's amazing. They had up this one the other day. I can't really go into much, but it's about how Latinidad and Latinx and all that are actually derivatives of these other words to separate the people into basically white Latin and black Latin, because white Spanish people don't like to mix with darker Spanish people. It's a fact. I'm sorry. It's not science. It's a fact that I've learned in my life, that I've seen in my life. So this Insta really has pushed me to see that and then see other things, and look for it, because I've preached that to my brothers over and over and over. You guys are black people. I don't care how much Spanish you think you are. When the world sees you, they see a brown-skinned boy and they see you as a black person. So learn that side, embrace that side, take that side. And that site is something that I would have wanted to start myself, that I didn't know existed until I guess this past year. And I was looking around and it's like, this is amazing. I love this. And it brings up, salsa people, inventors, artists, all kinds of people, all different things, and really kind of highlight some showcases. It's so dope, man. It's so dope. I love it. I want everyone to follow that just to kind of see. I'm constantly trying to post that kind of stuff. Like, look, we are the same. We hang out together. We need to be together. And if you remember during the protest, I made a plea to my Latino people. I made a plea. Like, you need to be out there with your black brothers and sisters, because when the fight comes your way, are you going to want them to fight with you? You might. And what are you going to do when there's like, where were you when I was fighting? You're not going to be there because we're in the same boat.
One more we want to throw in there. This nice brother I met one time. He was the Uber driver, actually. We were chopping it up. I was telling him about OSP. He was telling me about his project. His project was Woke Video. And if you go on Instagram, it's just Woke Video. And they have videos on there, and they keep you woke, man. If you ever feel like you don't know what's going on out there, they have videos on there. A lot of them make you feel uncomfortable. A lot of them make you have conversation. A lot of them make you realize, like, oh shit, this is still happening in the world. And they go out of their way to get videos from all over the country, all over the world, to show you this is still happening. This is what's happening in the world. So when you get a second, check out those three. They are Push Black, Woke Video, and Afro Latino Diaspora. One word. Check those out. We're gonna do one more award, and this is the award you wanted to give out. Before we get into our what the shit, what's the award you wanted to give out, Jay Roman?
Oh man. So the short word is Worst State in the Union Award. But the long title is Worst State to Be in During a Disaster Award. so that award's going to Texas. So when it comes to no worse place I can think of when it comes to handling the pandemic, you're talking about a state that was the first to reach 1 million cases, because they didn't want to wear masks and they wanted to be their free gun-toting, truck driving selves. Fine, whatever. And then you have the elections, and this state's government, DAs, whoever, prosecutors, attorney general, this and that, whoever, decided to sue to turn over other states' votes, not just their own, other states like Georgia, Pennsylvania, Ohio, I want to say Michigan or something like that. They actually tried to get people's votes thrown out from other states. Insane. Supreme Court was like, no, not even thinking about it. Threw that shit back away. Then you have the deep freeze. And I know you're going to touch on this a little bit, so I'm not going to go too far.
Well, no, let's do this. This award is, since it's our last award, we will make this award our what the shit.
Okay.
This award,
there you go.
Worst State in the Union will be our what
during a disaster.
All right.
So you have sub-zero temperatures as far down as Houston. Maybe not sub in Houston, but in lots of Texas. If you look at the map even right now, it's showing cold weather down to the border of Mexico. Not only does this state rely on big energy. They are a solo energy state.
Bigger in Texas, my friend. Everything.
They voted to keep their electrical grid to themselves, not have any federal government part of it, so they don't have regulations. I'm cool with deregulating stuff. but not when it's at the detriment to what you need to have happen. So they were warned about these issues that could happen with their grid 10 years ago.
Mm.
There's a new audio and video of a hearing from 10 years ago that shows somebody saying stuff like this could happen. And here we are, they lost power. So not only are they the worst state before all those other things. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. That was 1, 2, 3. 4 through 10 is Ted Cruz. So, so 4 through 10 is Ted Cruz. Not only do you have that issue going on, people were boiling water. People were boiling snow. People were chopping their furniture to keep warm because there was no power for days. In a state that doesn't usually get it. But here's how crazy it is. As soon as it all happens, they blamed everyone else but themselves. Very, very poor leadership there, in my opinion. One of the mayors had to step down because he said that they're not there to help the people. So he stepped down after that. I don't know what the hell you're there for then, because you are voted in by the people,
right?
Because they think you could help them during a possible time of crisis. So there's that. So they also kind of stubborn and don't really ask a lot of other states for help. So I don't know if you saw, but there was a video of the Arkansas-Texas line. On the Arkansas side, the road was plowed, clear, everyone driving. The Texas side, and we're talking a road not even separated by a wall. It's snowed in. It's like, because they don't have plows. How come they didn't call Arkansas, which is right across the street, and say, hey, could you plow that road? It's a main road between us. Can you plow the road for us? We'll pay you whatever millions it takes. So it's like, yo, my people in Texas, I feel for you. I love you. I want to visit Texas many, many times because I hear a lot of great things about it. But the fact that you got an asshole like Ted Cruz there who then goes and leaves on vacation when you were buried without power, you know, send your daughters and your wife, get them out of there. But you ain't supposed to go anywhere, bro. Like, you try to take your ass out of the country. So you were okay with the wall coming up to keep them out, but as soon as shit hit the fan, you jumped over it, right? That's pretty much what I saw. And this guy, the weasel that he is, same thing, slime ball that he is, all that, blaming everyone else but himself. He blamed his daughters, he blamed his wife, he blamed the media, everyone but himself. I'm sorry, you're just too stupid to do anything else. But for some reason, smart enough to be in office. Like, it drives me bananas, man.
I will say this about Texas. And Texas, the reason why they didn't get their shit plowed is because when you fuck with the other states enough, Arkansas is like, we could plow your yard. Fuck you.
I don't think so. Arkansas is a red state, I think, all the way.
It don't matter. Arkansas is like that neighbor who, yeah, you guys both agree on the same things, but if you keep coming out and you cut your own grass, you tell me how dirty my grass is, and your lawnmower is broken, guess who don't have cut grass now? You, motherfucker. You could cut
that face.
You was talking all that shit about my lawnmower. At least my shit works. I can tell you this about Texas. I know one place that nobody wants to be, and that's fucking Houston. For some reason, there has been a mass exodus for athletes in Houston. I will give you a quick list. DeAndre Hopkins, no longer in Houston. Punk ass, cheating ass, bitch ass George Springer.
Hopkins is traded?
Hopkins has been in Arizona. DeAndre Hopkins. No. Wait, let me finish. You're thinking the wrong.
DeAndre. Yes.
God damn it. DeAndre Hopkins, no longer in Texas. Punk ass George Springer's cheating ass, no longer in Texas. James Harden left fucking Texas. He left fat and lost all the weight on the plane before he got to Brooklyn. That's how much he wanted to leave fucking Texas. Russell Westbrook.
Not true. He was
Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook no longer in Texas. JJ Watt, a fucking Texan, like Houston Texan diehard, was there during the tornadoes, there during the hurricanes, there during the snowstorms, you name it. JJ Watt is he loves Texas. He's like, fuck Texas, I'm getting the fuck out of here. Fuck Texas. All while one man is being held hostage. Deshaun Watson has his hands in the air like, can I get the fuck out of Houston, please? Everybody else is leaving. All my friends is going. Can I leave? And the Houston Texans is like, nah, man, we got a new coach. You want to see some drama unfold? See what happens at the beginning of the season if Deshaun Watson is still a Houston Texan. He will show up to camp as fat as James Harden did and be like, oh, man, I forgot to throw short routes. My bad. Y'all should probably just trade me. Oh, no. Mass exodus. Everybody's out of Houston. Texas is a what the fuck in itself. We got to get up out of here.
Real quick. You remember the Texans owner is the one that said, don't let the inmates run the prison.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some shit like that.
All the inmates are leaving. They're all out on bail. They left, motherfucker. What you got now? You got no stars. You got no stars. You got a team with no stars on it.
Oh my gosh.
So we got to wrap it up. We want to thank you for joining our first annual OSP Old School Perspective Awards show. Hopefully
Maybe last.
All right. Hopefully it was up to your standards. We didn't dress for the occasion, but fucking why? Check out those Instagrams we were talking about. Until next time, I'm Shaun Q. Be smart.
Jay Roman, we out.
Keep it old school.